Hello, and after a bit of a slight delay, I'd like to welcome you back to Scouching. We're going to continue the series where we examine NHL rookies as they enter the National Hockey League and get their feet set, and we're going to be looking at the #1 overall draft pick from the 2019 draft, Mr. Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils. So the game I tracked was on October 10th against the Boston Bruins, and I wanted to choose this game specifically because the Boston Bruins are one of the hardest teams to play against in the National Hockey League, especially this season. They play hard, they play fast, and they play smart, and they play as a team, and I really respect the way that they play. And looking at Jack Hughes and how he played against this team, I think was a really interesting exercise. This was before Tom Fitzgerald was sent down to the bench to help coach the team, and Jack Hughes at this time was playing with Pavel Zacha and Wayne Simmonds, so there's a bit more on that coming later, but even with all those things considered and the team not being so great at this point in the year, he still was a net positive shot attempt contributor. All 3 high danger shot attempts that were done while Jack Hughes was on the ice were all by the New Jersey Devils, and 2 of which were Jack Hughes himself. So all in all, the numbers say that he had a pretty good game, so let's dig into the video and see what we've got. There were a few nondescript shifts early in this game, and it seemed like the New Jersey Devils are still a bit hesitant to really use him as a prime breakout player, but just over 5 minutes into the period, we see a really nice example of what makes Jack Hughes such a special player, but it also shows a little bit of what needs to be a bit more refined as he gets older and stronger on his feet. Danton Heinen wraps the puck around the back of the boards, and this is a pretty basic play for the Boston Bruins. They usually have the speed and mobility to catch up to that puck dumped in along the corners, and they can keep their cycle alive. And of course, there's Charlie Coyle to retrieve that puck behind the net. Connor Carrick is right there to enter into a puck battle with Charlie Coyle, and luckily Jack Hughes, being the responsible center that he usually is, reads this play pretty well and goes into the play to help support Connor Carrick. Carrick manages to get Coyle to turn the puck over, and Jack Hughes is really off to the races here. The rest of this clip is basically Jack Hughes being Jack Hughes. Hughes gets himself a pretty easy defensive zone exit and a pretty easy offensive entry and sends a pass across to Pavel Zacha, although the pass is not quite where it needs to be, so I think this is where the pace of play might be a little bit quick for him this early in the season. Unfortunately, Zacha can't corral the puck in time to move the puck over to Wayne Simmonds on the far right wing, so this play kind of starts turning the opposite direction. But it's a really nice example of Jack Hughes' mobility and speed up the ice, and also the use cases that you might see him being deployed in for the New Jersey Devils in the years forward. One of the criticisms that I heard a little bit about Jack Hughes going into the draft last year was that he wasn't really aggressive on loose pucks as much as he really needed to be, and I think that might have been people just looking at him being small and a more offensively motivated player, but this next clip is a really good example of how that criticism might be thrown out the window a little bit. Pavel Zacha enters the zone here with the puck, and my thought on this play as a coach might be to have Wayne Simmonds wrap around the corner. Brandon Carlo is pinching really high up towards the right side of the ice here, and Wayne Simmonds has all the time in the world to get himself into the corners, and Zacha should be able to wrap that puck around. However, Zacha tries to move the puck through 3 sticks and 6 feet to try to get the puck to Simmonds high in the zone. That pass actually gets to Simmonds, so it is a relatively low percentage play compared to the other option, but it gets there. Simmonds gets his shot off, and this whole time Jack Hughes is heading directly towards the net, and he does have the speed to outskate Brandon Carlo and chase down this loose puck in the corner. He's not the one who comes up with it, but the pressure he creates helps Pavel Zacha free up that loose puck to get right back to Jack Hughes. And then Jack Hughes displays something that I find a lot of young players have a lot of trouble with, which is just corralling pucks that are bouncing around, and that little bit of skill to get that puck settled can really help sustain offensive pressure. And that's something that Jack Hughes has always seemed to be able to do. He just has such a high level of puck control that it's really special to watch, especially for someone who last year was playing in the USHL and against some college teams. He gets the puck back and just puts a low danger shot attempt on the net here, but with Pavel Zacha causing havoc in front of the net, you really don't know what could happen out of this play. I might have thought about moving the puck to Damon Severson in the corner for a shot from the point there, but I guess that's just 2 sides of the same coin. No matter what you do, you're taking a low danger shot attempt. The puck doesn't quite get to the net, and Boston picks up the loose puck and starts going the other way. The next clip I think is the first exhibit of the team as a whole maybe not playing as well as they possibly can on the Devils side. PK Subban creates a loose puck behind the net, and Damon Severson manages to outrace Carson Kuhlman to get to that loose puck. Now here the play is pretty simple. Severson just needs to chip the puck past Danton Heinen and get the puck to Jack Hughes and let Jack Hughes do his thing and move the puck up the ice. He sends the pass to Jack Hughes, and Hughes does seem to be the guy who's ready to receive this pass. The problem is that Wayne Simmonds also seems to think that he's the guy who's receiving this pass. Now, in this play, Jack Hughes should be the guy who gets the puck to carry it up the ice. He's faster than Wayne Simmonds, His skill is better than Wayne Simmonds at this age, and his offensive threat potential is much, much higher than Wayne Simmonds at this point. But they just end up tied up together. Wayne Simmonds is the one who gets to that puck first, and just ends up getting it sent back into his own zone on a failed exit by Brandon Carlo. Jake DeBrusk is right there, ready to pick up that loose puck in the offensive zone, and Jack Hughes knows that his job is to get back and help out defensively on this play, and that's exactly what he does. He makes a quick read and heads straight for the guy with the puck, because the guy with the puck can be pretty dangerous in tight, and he's a really, really tough player to stop once he gets moving. DeBrusk absolutely leaves Damon Severson in the dust here and just creates a ton of space between him and Severson. But the nice thing is that Jack Hughes is right in there cutting off the passing lane to David Krejci, another player that you certainly don't want to have the puck. DeBrusk loses the handle of the puck in the corner here, and Severson and Hughes are able to tag team him in the corner and get ready for a breakout going the other way. The clip ends with Severson coughing up the puck and giving it right back to the Boston Bruins here, but it just is another example of Jack Hughes being relatively defensively aware, as well as being aware on breakouts that he should be the guy to take that puck out of the defensive end. If Wayne Simmonds is more positioned in the middle of the ice, or maybe as a secondary breakout option in case Jack Hughes doesn't have the route out of the zone, then maybe this play gets out of the defensive zone a lot easier, and a guy like DeBrusk or Krejci doesn't get a high danger chance out of this. Now this next play might be an example of where Jack Hughes might have some work to do. He's really well positioned on a 3-on-3 play as the puck enters his defensive zone, and Carson Kuhlman is the man with the puck here, so this is a player that Jack Hughes should be able to match up with relatively well. However, the problem is that Kuhlman does have the forward momentum and Jack Hughes is carrying more of a backward momentum. Kuhlman earns himself an easy zone entry and just carves away from Will Butcher here to go wide. He's got David Krejci supporting him and Louis DeBrusk supporting both of them, so this could become quite dangerous for the Boston Bruins. Kuhlman decides to take Jack Hughes wide towards the right side boards and take advantage of Hughes not really having a lot of momentum to keep up with him. I think in this situation though, Hughes needs to gain that mobility and that extra explosivity on the first few steps to really apply a lot of pressure to Kuhlman here. Kuhlman just walks around him a little bit too easily, and Hughes can only really get a stick check off. Hughes gets turned a little bit too much towards the inside, and Kuhlman's turned way out to the outside and creates a lot of space between him and Hughes. This gives Kuhlman plenty of time to make a decision on what to do with the puck. He sends a pass through Jack Hughes, through a teammate, and really surprisingly through the stick of Nikita Gusev here. And here David Krejci makes the interesting decision to pass the puck back to Torrey Krug rather than take a pretty clear open shot from a medium danger area. Jack Hughes was chasing the puck across the ice even though he was pretty well positioned along the left side boards to catch the wraparound chance that Torrey Krug put on net here. So the Bruins are able to retrieve the puck here along the left wing where Jack Hughes originally was, and they're able to continue their offensive cycle here. So I think it's just a bit of a learning moment here for Jack Hughes to really learn just how important your first few steps can be, even on players who are out in low danger areas. Just apply that pressure and let your teammates cover for you. And here's another play where Jack Hughes might be on a bit of a different level between the ears than some of his teammates. He's doing what he can to try to break up a cycle with the Boston Bruins here, and that was really a trend for most of this game. The New Jersey Devils had a really, really hard time getting anything going against the Bruins throughout this entire game. There's a shot on net, and Nikita Gusev does I don't know what here to try to move the puck around the back of the net, I guess. He completely flubs it and sends it straight to Jake DeBrusk. Luckily, Sami Vatanen is there to try to engage in a puck battle with DeBrusk to free up that puck, and he ends up doing so. Hughes is there to retrieve the puck, but he has the problem of Carson Kuhlman waiting for him on the other side of the net. Now, an NHL coach might want a young player like Hughes just to try wrapping it around the boards as hard as he can to either try to get it out of the zone or have a Wayne Simmonds help him get it out of the zone for him. Interestingly, Kuhlman tries to bolt to the front of the net here, which gives Jack Hughes a route out. There's a potential opportunity for him to get the puck to Wayne Simmonds, and from there you can try breaking the puck out. But Hughes does a bit of a galaxy brain play here and tries to move it to Sami Vatanen, and this is a play that I don't think Sami Vatanen or most NHL players would really expect to be coming from Jack Hughes, especially so early in his career. But Hughes just puts a pass right into the feet of Sami Vatanen, and when a player's not expecting something like this in a game where a second can mean the difference between a goal and a breakout, it can really complicate things, and David Krejci's right there ready to go, and he gets on that loose puck and continues the offensive cycle for the Boston Bruins. So it's a situational awareness thing for Jack Hughes here. I understand why he thought that play might have been the best play, considering that Carson Kuhlman was right there waiting for him. But with a bit of extra patience, he might have been able to read that Kuhlman was abandoning that coverage, and he might be able to wrap around the back of the net with a lot of speed, or at least get a pass to Wayne Simmonds where there was a bit of open ice along the right wing. We move forward to the second period here, and this is a really good example of defensive responsibility from Jack Hughes and a really good read defensively so that he can cover for his teammate. Brandon Carlo manages to get the puck out of the defensive zone, and what you'll notice is hockey's favorite cowboy, PK Subban, is pinching way up in the neutral zone here, trying to force pressure offensively. I respect that out of PK Subban, and it's one of the reasons I like him. You just need to make sure you're in a system that's responsible and aware enough to notice when a player like Subban jumps into the rush like this. Luckily, Jack Hughes makes that read that PK Subban is way out of position here, and he covers for him almost immediately in the neutral zone. If he's not racing back to cover for PK Subban, Brad Marchand is right in the middle of the ice here, and if that puck gets past PK Subban from Brandon Carlo here, this could have been a 2-on-1 for the Boston Bruins very, very easily. Luckily, neither of those things happen and the puck just gets dumped in and the Devils are able to retrieve it. It's just another example of what I look for in young centers, especially mobile ones like Jack Hughes. Offense isn't everything, and if you're a center especially, you need to play competent defense in order to enable your offensive skills. Stuff like this from Jack Hughes is something that coaches are going to want to see out of him, especially with aggressive defensemen like PK Subban playing with him, and I think that it's a really promising sign that at such a young age and with such a rapid increase in play quality going from the USHL to the National Hockey League, that he's able to process the game like that right away. The next clip is another great example of Jack Hughes being snake-bitten this early in the year. People were looking at his point totals and wondering if he was going to ever figure it out at the NHL level. But this is another example where he just processes the game very intelligently. He puts himself in the right position to score. His skating is great so he can find open ice pretty easily. And he just positions himself in front of Tuukka Rask with a lot of speed and makes himself very dangerous here. He's almost alone in a medium danger area of the ice, headed straight for the front of the net. You've got Zdeno Chara in the corner, a bit tied up on his own, and the rest of the Boston Bruins on the ice here do not have any momentum that is likely to stop Jack Hughes. Taylor Hall, a player that I think should be playing all season long with Jack Hughes, manages to shove it to Hughes in front of the net, and Hughes gets himself a high danger chance. Tuukka Rask closes that 5-hole, but this could very easily have been Hughes' first goal. At least in an offensive sense, he's able to find open space and get himself to dangerous areas, and that's the kind of scoring instinct you're going to need, especially for someone with such a playmaker's pedigree that he's come into the league with. This next play I'll go through really quickly. They're on the power play. The expectation is that Jack Hughes is going to be the quarterback on this power play, especially in transition. But the Boston Bruins are a team that will play their best players on a penalty kill, probably like you should. Jack Hughes ends up moving the puck up the ice here, and he meets Patrice Bergeron, and Patrice Bergeron just reaches his stick out and knocks the puck right off him. I don't know if I can fault Jack Hughes for this very much, but it's a really interesting example of when a really young, high-octane center meets one of the best centers in the game right now in both ends of the ice. Patrice Bergeron makes it just look way too easy to get the puck off Jack Hughes here. And this is a clip where I show Jack Hughes and say, this is the kind of thing you're going to be facing, especially as the Devils get better, and you're going to need to get that skill level and that mobility up to a point where you're going to be able to counter a player like a Patrice Bergeron. What's worse is that even though Bergeron loses control of the puck in New Jersey's zone and Jack Hughes fetches it and sends it to his defenseman, you've got Brad Marchand also in the offensive zone, likely playing very aggressively because that's what Brad Marchand does. Hughes fetches the puck, and again, similar to Bergeron, when you've got Brad Marchand bearing down on you, you're going to need to explode off the line to get away from him. He's small, but he's skilled, and he's aggressive, and his skating is fantastic. So you're going to need to make sure you get away from a player like Brad Marchand immediately. And again, similar to Bergeron, Marchand makes it look much too easy to knock the puck off Jack Hughes. Hughes needs to be the guy that moves this puck up the ice on the power play, especially when you're down by 2. Marchand just makes Hughes look a little bit silly. He manages to get control of the puck solidly in New Jersey's zone and just sends it out of the zone back to Charlie McAvoy on defense. This is just textbook great penalty killing when great players are on the ice, and I think it's an interesting crash course for Jack Hughes to look at in the video room after a game like this. The next clip though, we do get a good example of Jack Hughes being Jack Hughes, especially on the power play. PK Subban is just not going to be the guy to break pucks out for the New Jersey Devils on a power play anymore. He hands the puck over to Jack Hughes and he's just off to the races. Hughes' head is up the whole way up the ice. He manages to get out of his own zone and into the offensive zone with perfect control of the puck. As he enters the offensive zone, he spots that there's a lane between David Krejci and Carson Kuhlman here, and this is where skating can be such a great benefit for a young player. He just carves right in between these two players and gets himself into the middle of the ice. He's got two guys to his left and one guy to his right on the power play, and then you likely will have PK Subban trailing right behind all those guys. So he does have options here when he carves into the middle of the ice. Now I'm looking at this play and thinking that Pavel Zacha should be pushing his way into the offensive zone a lot deeper. This is an easy pass for Hughes to make if Zacha is further in the offensive zone and he can cut right into the net and get a shot on Tuukka Rask. It is the power play, so I guess you do want to get set up, but that would have been a fast break play that I think would have kept the Bruins on their toes here considering how much momentum Hughes has. In my opinion, Hughes holds onto the puck a little bit too long here, and a few options become really not an option now. He's kind of stuck holding onto the puck high in the zone with three guys in a little bit too deep to realistically get a pass to them. However, in typical Jack Hughes fashion, he makes a spin move and now he has two passing options along the boards and he manages to continue a cycle on the power play. This next play isn't really a critique of Jack Hughes so much as it's a critique of the Devils as a whole. This is a great example of a mismatch between Jack Hughes and his then line mates Wayne Simmonds and Pavel Zacha. Hughes is doing whatever he can to find open ice after this puck battle with Charlie McAvoy and Pavel Zacha ends. Wayne Simmonds even gets himself involved, and now you have all three Devils forwards right in the vicinity of this play. The right read for Jack Hughes is to get the heck out of there, find open space, and hope that the puck ends up getting to you somehow. That's exactly what he does as he literally skates circles around Carson Kuhlman here, carving right in front of Joachim Nordstrom, and Zdeno Chara just guarding in front of the net, but if I'm Jack Hughes, I'm not particularly scared of Zdeno Chara at this point. Hughes gets himself in a decent bumper position here, but Wayne Simmonds just takes way too long to make the blatantly right play here to move the puck back to a defenseman. He ends up waiting so long to make a play that he ends up just turning and shooting it on net from the point. Pavel Zacha can't corral the puck and Charlie McAvoy pressures the puck right off him, and again Wayne Simmonds is there to pick up the puck with Jack Hughes in front of the net. This isn't all bad for the team, but again, it's a pace of play thing for the team as a whole. There was a blatant option for Wayne Simmonds here. He chose to hold on to the puck, and now they're scrambling again to maintain possession of the puck. Simmonds picks up the loose puck on his backhand, and once again, there is an option for Simmonds to move the puck to Jack Hughes in the corner. Hughes is matched up here with Zdeno Chara, and I'm pretty sure that if Hughes has the momentum that he does, and the explosivity that he does, he could at least try to skate that puck around the back of the net, around Zdeno Chara, to maybe get the puck out to Connor Carrick along the defense, but Simmonds just tries to put a pass into the middle of the ice where really there's nobody that's a threat to pick up that pass, and the Bruins just pick the puck up. So it's another example of really perplexing line construction. I can kind of see what the Devils are doing here. Your third line is meant to be defensively responsible, and you need to teach young players to play defense. I get it. But at the same time, if you want your first overall pick to thrive in the National Hockey League and make life easy for him to get his feet set, guys like Wayne Simmonds especially are not going to make great line mates for him. Simmonds is out there to protect him maybe, sure, but at the end of the day you need your best players producing, and this just really didn't seem conducive of helping Jack Hughes produce. I'll preface the next clip by saying that yes, David Krejci is getting older, but Jack Hughes shows really nice refined maturity here defensively as he covers for his team as the puck is transitioned out of Boston's end here. He's matched up to David Krejci, and that's a tough assignment even for a first overall pick. Krejci is no joke in transition. While Hughes lets Krejci in behind him, he carefully manages his body positioning to constantly be applying pressure on that passing lane, and doing so prevents Krejci from receiving a pretty good pass from Torrey Krug. Had Jack Hughes not been breathing down Krejci's neck all the way through the neutral zone, this could have been a 2-on-2 for Krejci and Kuhlman here. This next play is a quick one. It's a really nice breakout in tight quarters and a nice deceptive pass out of Jack Hughes. Right here, this doesn't seem very promising. You've got Pavel Zacha, Wayne Simmonds, and Jack Hughes all within a matter of feet of each other. This doesn't seem like a great strategy for a breakout, and again, it doesn't give Jack Hughes a lot of options outside of carrying the puck himself. He immediately leaves his line mates in the dust here, and he's basically on his own. His best option now is an awkward pass somewhat behind him to Wayne Simmonds. He's got two Bruins ready to take him out here, but he very deceptively manages to get a pass off that lands right on Wayne Simmonds' stick to continue the transition. Stuff like this where it keeps the opponent on their toes, where they don't know when that pass is coming, can be very important, and when you have mobility like Jack Hughes does, it can be very dangerous on a breakout. The next clip is an example of Jack Hughes away from the puck in the offensive zone and just how smart he is and capable he is of always being in open areas. It is imperative for your forwards to always be finding open space so that there's an option for your other forwards or defensemen to get the puck to you and have the least amount of defensive pressure the second you grab that puck. That is a major part of what made Jack Hughes so dangerous. He was able to find open space and know whether it was right to get a shot off or try to make a play or take a few steps and make a play from there. But at the end of the day, throughout this whole play, he's doing a really, really good job of finding open space and making sure that he can get himself in a good chance to continue an offensive pressure play. And here he finds a nice patch of open ice, and Pavel Zacha sends a very, very nice pass between his legs to Jack Hughes by the side of the net, and this very well could have also been Jack Hughes' first NHL goal. Unfortunately, he can't roof it, and for him, life goes on. The next clip is just a nice example of how Jack Hughes gets right down to business the second he hits the ice. Boston has taken a penalty, and we're in a delayed penalty scenario where Corey Schneider is headed to the bench. PK Subban and Damon Severson are able to play a bit of pitch and catch here, but there's a special guest coming into the play. Severson sends a nice pass for Jack Hughes as he enters the zone, and Hughes has a lot of forward momentum. He fakes a pass back to Severson and manages to find some open space in the zone, juking out David Pastrnak a little bit along the way. He sends a pass back to PK Subban, there's a bit of pitch and catch between a few Devils along the boards, but then Jack Hughes gets the puck back and shows a lot of nice patience to wait for a play to develop in front of him. You've got Zdeno Chara and the top unit of the Boston Bruins on the ice against you here. However, Jack Hughes spots his moment really, really nicely, with a player like Kyle Palmieri in the bumper spot in front of the net able to get that quick one-timer off if it gets to his stick. That's exactly what happens, and Jack Hughes outweights the Boston Bruins really nicely here and gets Kyle Palmieri a nice medium danger shot in front of the net. On this next play, Jack Hughes simultaneously gets caught puck watching a little bit, but his anticipation does help him get the puck back when he doesn't have it. He's really trying to catch up to the play here and getting caught up with his line mates quite a bit on this play early on. A situation like this, I can understand why the Devils are playing like this, but if this puck squeaks out, there really isn't much of a great chance of a breakout. You've got 4 guys in really, really deep in 5-on-5 play. There are 2 Bruins that are likely open, and to me, there's a couple of plays Krejci has access to that could cause a lot of problems for the Devils. He could even just wrap it around the boards and send it to the right side defense. Krejci tries the quick play to get the puck to the front of the net here, but Will Butcher's there to cut it off. Carson Kuhlman fetches it in the corner, tries to pass it to DeBrusk again in front of the net, but Jack Hughes is right there, gets a stick in the play, and retrieves the puck right away off of Jake DeBrusk. And a nice simple pass to Will Butcher helps them break the puck out of their own end. That's nice defensive play to cover for a bit of puck watching that was going on earlier. He might be able to allow his defenseman and maybe a winger to cover that deep in the defensive zone, but overall I thought this play was a nice indication of just how active he is defensively and how he's willing to make a simple play to cause a breakout. The last play I want to make note of for this game is a bit of a nitpicky one. Will Butcher makes a read here that the best option is to move the puck to Mirko Mueller here. Hughes is in a great position right now to pick up a pass from Mirko Mueller, and one of the things that Jack Hughes does best is generate a lot of speed with the puck on his stick by rotating around in the neutral zone. Using his edge work, he's able to generate a lot of speed and create a lot of entries that way. Mueller takes a little bit too long to corral the puck, and he doesn't really notice that Jack Hughes is no longer along that left wing board. And now this might be a little bit more on Mueller, since Mueller also had Will Butcher as an option, but if Jack Hughes had remained along the left wing boards here, he might have been that target that could have helped move the puck up the ice a little bit better. So whether it's him not letting his teammates make the easy decisions to move pucks to him, the puck ended up turned over to your opponent, and in a situation like this with 4 minutes left in a 3-0 game, you need every chance you can get. So that's all the video we have on Jack Hughes in that game. Overall, I came away pretty impressed. Considering who he was playing with and considering how poor the Devils' start to the season has been, I thought he did pretty well. He showed really nice flashes of his mobility through the neutral zone. He showed really nice creativity, especially on the power play, and I think with a little bit of patience, as we've already seen since this game was played on October 10th, he really seems to start to be hitting his stride. He's scored a couple of goals, he's moved up the lineup quite a bit, and I think that if he ends up solidly on a pair with guys like Taylor Hall, I think there could be a tremendously successful rookie season here for Jack Hughes. The level of defensive responsibility and awareness, combined with his exceptional offensive awareness and his offensive tools, I think make Jack Hughes a really, really interesting player that could only get better year over year for the next few years for the Devils. So that's all for Jack Hughes. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, click all the buttons you see below me so you never miss another one. If you really liked it, you could support us on Patreon, where there's access to plenty of data spreadsheets at all kinds of different tiers, as well as merchandise discounts from the Scouchwear store, where 50% of all profits go to the Women's Sports Foundation. So that's all for this one, and in the next video we're going to be looking at another player with the last name Hughes, Jack's brother Quinn.